there's another room that you have access to that, to me, is one of the most fascinating meeting rooms in Washington now, and it's Chuck Schumer's conference room, where he gathers a group of Democratic senators in his leadership circle, which include, in a weekly meeting with Chuck Schumer kind of at the head of the table, but letting you all go. You're in that room. Bernie Sanders is in that room. Joe Manchin is in that room, along with several other senators. And I'm always wanting to imagine what the conversation is like between you and Joe Manchin in that room.
I will tell no tales.
Well, for example, Senator Manchin, we know, has publicly said he's reluctant to go as high as Joe Biden wants to go on, for example, the corporate tax rate. When that kind of thing gets discussed in that room, it would seem to me that's the opportunity for the friendliest version of the disagreement.
Yes, and that is true. There is considerable disagreement in that room. It is almost never heated, and I'm talking now generically, not about any one person. But it is intense because these differences are real. And the urgency of getting this right is upon us. Look, the debate, yes, it is important, but it is important because as Democrats, we need to deliver. We made promises in 18. We made promises in 20. We said, you put us in control in the Senate. You put us in control in the House. You give us the White House, and we're going to produce for the American people. Well, it is time for us to do that. And we make that point more than any other point in that room. So every difference we've got, we need to hammer it out, because at the end of the day, we need to deliver on our promises.
In the 50-50 Senate, every one of you Democratic senators, in effect, has a veto over anything that the Majority Leader Chuck Schumer wants to do. Joe Manchin's in a more prominent position of that power because it more frequently comes up that he has some dissenting thoughts about what's going on. But each one of you have that power, and I'm wondering how you think about that power that you have now that each individual Democratic senator is absolutely necessary to passing whatever Chuck Schumer and Joe Biden want to pass.
Look, I think of this in two ways. In the specific way you identify it is to say, I get it. On any given bill, I'm not going to get everything I want. So I better figure out what things are most important to me and what things I can say under the day. We'll come back to them. Because it's going to take 50 of us that somehow have worked out in a bill that this is enough for us to be on, and that every one of us feels like we can vote for it. But I also think of it this way right now, Lawrence, and it goes to the point about persistence. It goes to the point of what this book is about. It's about the big pieces and what we're trying to move. It's about the rescue package in part. The fact that we said we're going to put money in for people's health, for people's housing, for child care. Now it's time to take the next step and to say, as a nation, yeah, we want people to be able to go to work. We want businesses to be able to prosper, and we know what that takes. Roads and bridges, you bet. Communications, broadband, yep. And child care. Child care is part of that. You want parents to be able to go to work. You want mamas to be able to get back into the workforce. Then as a nation, we need to have affordable, high quality, available child care. It's an issue of opportunity for every American, particularly the women who've been knocked out of the workforce during the pandemic. And it is also an issue of growth in our economy, productivity. We need childcare. It's part of the structure of what makes America prosperous going forward, and gives everyone a chance to build a real future for themselves.
We are now into another version of a pattern that we have now seen. I've been watching it closely since the early 1990s, and that is a Democratic president comes in this case, having defeated an incumbent Republican president, Bill Clinton comes in. And one of the first things he does is propose a tax increase. And the Republicans say, Newt Gingrich says, you're going to destroy jobs, you're going to destroy the economy. The tax increase passes only with Democratic votes. The economy soars. Then we get a Republican president who then cuts taxes. And then the next Democratic president who comes in, Barack Obama, then has to raise taxes again for fiscal sanity. The economy continues to increase after the Obama tax increases. And here we are again. And the Republicans are saying, if you and Joe Biden get your way and you get these corporate tax increases, you're going to destroy the economy. The argument has been wrong every single time they've launched it, but they haven't given up on it.
That's right. They haven't. But here's what started to change. And that is, it used to be the case that the Republicans could say they're going to raise taxes, and it would cause this ripple of anxiety all across Washington and throughout much of the nation. Not anymore. Today, the wealth tax, a tax on families that have more than $50 million in wealth. I've proposed a 2-cent tax on their wealth, a little bit more than that if they have billions in assets. That tax is popular across this country, popular with Democrats, popular with Republicans, popular with independents. Americans look around and they say, wait a minute, the 99% in this country, they paid last year about 3.2% of their total, 7.2% of their total wealth in taxes. But that top 1/10 of 1%, they paid only 3.2% of their total wealth, less than half as much. I think Americans have had it with the Republicans on taxes. The tax cuts that went to the billionaires, and now just understanding this system is not working. It's a rigged system that works for those at the top. And I think people are really ready for change. I wrote this book, Persist, because I believe it is time for change. It's personal, but it is also about policy, about making the changes that are going to last for decades to come.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.